What's going on? Welcome back to episode 15 of OKnowsSports. Today we got a special guest, John-Michael Wright. But first things first, I want to thank our sponsor, Picnic Club. Make sure you check out the link in the description. They got a new drop coming on March 9th, all handcrafted streetwear. I'm excited about it. You get 15% off if you use the code OKNOWS. All right, now, John-Michael Wright, thanks for coming on, man. We're glad to have you. How you been?
Man, I've been good, bro. Just living life, man.
Huge win last night. Congrats on that with a huge bucket, too, with a minute left.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're glad we can get that dub, bro. It's a big win for the program.
Yeah, that was a huge win, 100%. All right, well, first things first, I want to give a little bio on John. It might take a little bit. He's got a lot of accolades, but I want to give a little bio. So out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, he's a grad student that goes to Oklahoma State right now, but he started his career at High Point University. He was a prolific scorer. He was on the all-freshman team in the Big South his freshman year, and then he was two-time All-Big South first team his sophomore and junior year. Now he moved over to Oklahoma State, and he's balling out there. He's been hooping ever since, and he's in his grad year, his fifth year at Oklahoma State, and he's balling out. As I said, hit a big three with a minute left last night. One cool thing about John that you probably didn't know is that he's one of 679 college basketball players to ever reach 2,000 points in college basketball. I don't even know if you knew you're that exclusive, because that's a pretty crazy list to be on. So congrats on that, and thanks for coming on the show, man.
Nah, no problem. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate those words, bro. I didn't know that though. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was looking a few days back, and I was like, I'm gonna because I love stats on OKnowsSports. I always talk about some interesting statistics, and that's one of those where, like, I mean, there's 300 Division I teams in college basketball, and there's hundreds of years. You're one of 679 guys that ever have 2,000 points. That's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, bro. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll start out with your High Point career. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, we'll kind of go through your whole career. Obviously, prolific scorer. So we got to talk about each year a little bit. But how did you land at High Point? Because coming in, obviously, you were a pretty huge part of the team freshman year. So how did you land with recruiting wise? Like, what did it look like going to High Point and coming out of Fayetteville, obviously staying at home?
Yeah, so my recruiting out of high school was kind of rocky. It was a lot of uncertainty because I didn't have that many offers. High Point had offered me my mid-season of senior year in January. So Coach Tubby Smith had came to a game and he watched it, and I didn't know anything about Tubby Smith. I knew about High Point because they had recruited me, but they just never gave me a scholarship. But I had a good game, and he told me after the game that I had an offer there. And once he offered me, I had took a visit, and the visit was great. And it was between them and University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And then it was I almost chose UMBC just because of this, the relationship I had with the coaching staff, and the visit I had there was a great one too. So, but when it came to decision day on April 18th, I just knew High Point was the place I needed to be in. Once they started recruiting me heavy, like they were really on it, just coming to my school during the day, coming to my open gyms in the off season. So they really wanted me there, and I just knew that was the place I needed to be.
So you only had 2 offers coming out of high school?
So I had 5. I got my first one my freshman year from Marshall University, but I didn't get my next one until my senior year. And Marshall talking to me, and then Arkansas State had offered me, but then their coach had got fired. Hampton had offered me, but they offered everybody. I never spoke to the head coach.
Yeah.
And then it was High Point, and then University of Maryland, Baltimore County. So,
jeez, that I would not have guessed that. I won't lie. I would not have guessed that you only had a few offers in, especially like the way that you came in freshman year at High Point. You led the team in scoring with 14 points a game. Did you walk in thinking like, all right, like I'm the first few practices, were you like, all right, like I'm the man, or were you a little nervous coming in as a true freshman, like already getting in the starting lineup?
Honestly, bro, like I didn't really think too much about it, and I think that's what helped me a lot. When I first got there, I just locked in the moment. I didn't worry I was going to be the guy or a starter. I just wanted to go there and learn. And once we started playing, I started to get the feel for everything, and I was like, okay, I could really hang with these guys. And I just kept getting better, and Coach Tubby Smith and them, they just kept helping me progress, and it just led to me being able to get a good flow in the offense, and I was able just to claim that starting spot.
For sure. And talking about Tubby a little bit, was it kind of crazy? Like, I know you said originally you didn't know a ton about him, obviously. once you start playing for him, you're probably like, damn, this guy actually won a national championship, coach of Kentucky and all that. Was it pretty cool? Like, did you learn a lot from him, or what was that? What was that like playing for him?
Yeah, I did. Like you said, like I didn't know nothing about him, but once I really got on campus and he just started telling me all these stories about when he was coaching at Kentucky and Georgia and Minnesota, I was like, man, this guy's legit. Like he's seen some things. And
Mm-hmm.
I used to always go in his office, just ask him questions about the highest level and what was his aspirations going into it, and as he everything he wanted to, and he would just give me a whole bunch of stories. Me and him have a great relationship. I had a great relationship with him when I was there, and we talked pretty much every day, one on one. And I learned a lot from Coach Smith, and he wished me nothing but the best when I transferred, and he still hits me up here and there from time to time. But yeah, he taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? He really was the first person to really show me about that. Like, what is it to expect at the high major level? Even when I was in the portal, he was trying to help coach me through that.
That's pretty cool that, like, even when you were like, I think it's time, like, I think I've reached my time to go, that he still, like, respected you enough to not be like, oh, screw off, like, I'm not helping you anymore. That shows his character too.
Yeah.
So obviously we're the leading scorer freshman year, and then sophomore year you kind of went crazy, and I know that was during COVID and everything. So what did that look like, training wise? Like, because obviously you jumped from 14 to over 20 points a game. What did that look like in the gym? Were you? I know High Point, North Carolina is a little bit like they were a little more lax on the COVID stuff. It wasn't like California or New York or whatever. But what did that look like for your team?
Yeah, so I did most of my training when like after when they closed the season down, my freshman year, and then we all had to go home.
Yeah.
So like when during COVID, me and my stepdad, so we had the keys to my old high school gym, and we would just go in there every day and just train late at night. And I got a lot of majority of my work there. And then when we got back on campus, it was like the workouts were kind of segregated. We could only do like 4 people at one time, and everybody had a mask on and stuff like that. So it was a lot of one-on-one development, which I think was good for everybody, because that's all we could do. But it was limited, when we came back on campus. But I did majority of my work when they sent us home.
And that probably helped your game too, like as a scorer. If you're working, like, it's not like you're like a 3-and-D guy, like you're a legit scorer that has the ball in your hands. So that probably helps, like the one-on-one work, like you were doing with your pops all the time. Like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It was good, real beneficial, man. We got some good work in, you know what I'm saying? Around that time, it was a lot of downtime, so there was nothing else to do.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought, so keep in mind, this is coming from just a High Point fan, but I thought you guys had such a talented group, both sophomore and junior year, especially your junior year. But sophomore year, like obviously you were like 17th in the country in scoring. I felt like I don't know if it was that the team wasn't clicking, or what do you think it was that didn't push you guys to the next level, like competing for the Big South tournament and kind of like dominating in the season? Because I feel like, I mean, you look at the pieces you guys had, like you had multiple guys that are transferring to big time schools and really competing. And we'll talk about that a little bit after you answer this, but what do you think?
Man, I think the attitude of the overall team probably messed us up. We didn't really reach our full potential. It's hard to say. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's coaching.
Yeah.
It's just players not going into the system, and it's just a lot, man. It's not just one thing I could just pinpoint, but I do think if we had a different mindset towards ourselves and our coaching staff, it would have been a different outlook, because we had more than enough to compete, in the Big South.
Yeah. And I think, like, especially because obviously you were dominant your sophomore and junior year, especially, I mean, freshman year good as well, but first team all Big South. And then your junior year, you had Zach and Jaden with you, which is like, I mean, that's like a Power 5 type trio, I feel like, because obviously Jaden's balling out at Rhode Island and Zach's at Pitt and he's balling too. And then on top of that, you guys had a few other guys like Brian, who's at JMU. And I can't believe, like, do you still stay in touch with those guys? Because that crew was like, that was a legit, like, for a mid-major team, like, you don't get many teams that have that many high-level players on one team.
Yeah. We talk almost every day, bro, in our little group chat, and we talk about it too, saying how much like we miss playing with each other. And
Yeah,
would be different if we could go back. But, it's just the timing was off, I guess. It just wasn't our time to really shine at High Point. But I'm glad that they're doing their thing. Coach Huss has got those guys rolling. I watched their games. They got a lot of good high-level players too. So, I wish – I'm rooting for High Point no matter what. I think they're going to get it done in the Big South this year. But, yeah, we talk about it a lot, and, we know it was a lot we missed on the table, but you just got to move forward.
Yeah, you live and you learn, and clearly you guys have done that. I mean, the guys I mentioned are not just the only ones. Like I know Alex Holtz at Mercer, he's dominant. That guy's the man. I used to be good buddies with him when he went to High Point. He's a good dude. But yeah, so that was a crazy team. But so after you kind of had your time at High Point, you scored like 1,500 points for them, and I'm sure you know this, but you're top 5 all-time High Point leading scorers, which is sick to say. Like in the big arena, I was at the game the other night, and I didn't. This was before I even reached out to you about doing the interview, but I looked on the board and it was like John-Michael Wright, 4th all-time High Point leading scorer. So that's pretty dope. First of all, congrats on that. But when did you feel like after junior year, were you like, this just isn't working out, I think it's my time to leave? Or were you just like, I don't know, like I'm just going to take a step out and kind of test the waters with the transfer portal?
Well, after we lost in the quarterfinals to Winthrop, I had just took a step back and just really thought about, my whole experience at High Point. And Tubby had just retired, and I was like, okay, Coach Jeezy's going to take over.
Yeah.
I had a good relationship with Coach Jeezy, but I'm like, if I'm going to get a new coach, I might as well just go to a different school.
Yeah.
I just feel like I did as much as I could in the moment at High Point. I just wanted a new challenge.
Yeah.
After playing Kentucky and Michigan State that year, I was like, man, this is something crazy. Like,
this is sick. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to experience that every game. And, I just knew it'd make me a better player as well. So I just wanted to get to some of that exposure and just develop my game more. And I just felt like I couldn't do that anymore at High Point. So I need to move.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. No, I respect that fully. I was just curious. And then when you entered your name, like obviously the mid-major guys that go from mid-major to like big time, like Power 5, you get a lot of interest. What were the main schools that you were looking at? Because obviously I'm sure when John-Michael Wright's name popped up in the transfer portal, everyone was jumping all over that. So what were the main ones that you were like, all right, I got a shot of going there, or I liked what they got over there?
Well, before, like the day I put it in, before I had gotten into these schools, like I wanted to go somewhere where it was hot, like Florida or like California or something.
Yeah.
Or in Texas. But once our school started reaching out, my top 3 was Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and Florida.
Okay.
So I was going to take a visit to all 3, but when I came to Oklahoma State, I just felt like it was no more else for me to see. I love the coach and the players that were here that I met. I felt like this is where I needed to be, and they said it's a great opportunity for me to come here and play right away and learn and grow, and they'll let me play through my mistakes. And leaving a school where you already established, that's something you want to have from the new coaches. Some people that you can trust. So I felt like they weren't just talking. They were about and it just felt like it was the right decision for me.
Yeah, and that's a big thing when you're moving to a new school, like, because I know, like, much smaller scale, I went through a recruiting process with college soccer, and it's like a lot of coaches can just say, like, oh, yeah, you got a spot, don't worry about it. But it's a whole nother thing to, like, actually mean it. And obviously they meant it when you came in. You played every single game, started every game when you came in as a senior for Oklahoma State. So I want to talk a little bit. You just said it about, like, when you played at MSU and played at Kentucky for High Point, like, how is it transitioning from – like you're playing when you played 3 years, you're like your road game is like playing at Radford with like 300 fans. And now your road game is playing in front of Bill Self and like playing at Allen Fieldhouse. Like how does that feel like?
Man, it feel good. I was always a geek for big crowds, even when I was in high school, and I like when people are rooting against you. You know what I'm saying? Like all these people in this building want us to lose. Like that just fires me up. And, just when I was in high school, I always wanted to play high major. So I used to always look up, game days and see certain schools. And I remember I took a visit to Indiana University in Bloomington. I was like,
they got a heck of an atmosphere.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like I got to play in this. But, playing at High Point, we had certain opportunities to play at places like that. But now, like, the switch has just been it's been crazy.
Yeah, it's every night.
Yeah, you can't run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like yeah, if you're not hooping one night, you're hearing it from the crowd for sure.
Exactly, bro. The fans, they really love sports. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, you
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, you'll hear it. And playing at Gallagher for you guys get great fans as well. Attendance, like I was looking up yesterday, like you get 13,000 fans in that arena. I didn't know it was that big, to be honest, when I watch you guys on TV, but that's pretty awesome. You guys fill that out pretty often too, right?
Not this season, not lately, nah, because it's been an up and down season. But last year we had a lot of good crowds, a lot of real good crowds. This weekend will probably be a great crowd because it's our rivalry week.
Yeah, Oklahoma, you got Oklahoma.
Yeah. So
How you
yeah,
feeling about that?
ready, man. We should have beat them the first time.
And coming off 2 big wins too.
Uh-huh. We definitely gonna get them boys.
Love that. It's at home, right?
Yeah, it's at home. Yeah.
Okay. Love that. I mean, I know I'll be tuned in. I'm sure all the people watching on Oh No Sports will be tuned in too, because that's going to be a good one. There's no doubt about that. Now transferring into a little bit of your whole career, like looking at it from a broader perspective, what do you think your most memorable shot is? I got a few ideas that I'm thinking that you might answer, but I'm curious what you got to say.
Let me see. That's a tough one, bro.
It is a tough. I mean, you scored a lot of buckets, so
Yeah.
if you got 1 or 2 or 3 answers, that's fine too.
Let me see. When I was at High Point, I would say we were playing Ashby, and it wasn't just one shot. It was really like 3. So it was towards the end of the game. We was down, and it was like 1 minute left, and I had hit 2 threes back to back, and then I got fouled on the last second 3, and I made the 3 free throws. So when the
That
game,
was at the Quabain Center, right?
yeah,
That was on Family Weekend. I remember my dad was sitting next to me watching that. That was unreal.
yeah, Family Weekend, yeah. So that was a great experience. Let me see. Man, that's a tough one, bro. I ain't never really thought about that.
Here, if you want me, I can fill in for you with what I got. So okay, I didn't think about that one, but I was actually at that game, obviously, with my pops, and I remember that you scored like 9 straight with a minute left. That was crazy. But I thought the most memorable would be last year. You had an AM1 against Texas Tech.
Oh yeah.
With like 0.2 or whatever left. Like I forget who it was, one of the guards on your team, like shot like a jumper from the elbow, and you came in on the backside and like AM1, and it was mean, that was crazy.
Nah, I remember that one. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a good one, man. Nice little buzzer beater. I was.
Yeah, that and the whole arena went nuts too. That had to be a great feeling.
They forgot the guy out, man.
Yeah, that's got to be a crowning moment. But all right, next thing I got about same type question, but who do you think is the best player you've ever played with in your career of basketball?
I would say it was a guy in my city in Fayetteville. His name was Jatrious Smith. He was about 6'5" point guard. He was really talented. He had a lot of scholarship offers, but just got caught up in some things, so it didn't really work out for him. But he was, if you get a chance, look up Jatrious Smith basketball. He was tough, man. He was real good player. Kind of remind me of Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Also, I played with Sharif Cooper. Sharif was pretty good. Yeah.
When did you play with him?
You said what?
When did you play with Sharif?
I played with him my senior year in AAU.
Oh man, you guys are probably tough together.
Yeah, we was a good team. Yeah, man, he was really good. A real good point guard, and I'd probably say that was probably my top 2.
Okay, yeah, I was not expecting the hometown one, honestly, but those are 2 good answers. I'll be sure to check out his highlight reel after this. And I can link it in the description too, so make sure everyone can check it out.
Yeah, Jatrious Smith. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got a question about the whole college basketball like template right now. Who do you think are the top, like what's your Final Four prediction? Obviously there's a lot of teams that are kind of like John at the top spot right now with Purdue and UConn and stuff. Like who do you think from like a real, like I'm a fan, like you're an actual hooper, like I'm curious what you think.
Okay, so a team that I think is sleeper is Creighton, bro. I think Creighton has a chance to go to the Final Four.
Okay.
They put together like a complete 4 or 5 games. That'd be a tough team to beat. I don't think UConn is gonna make it. I think Houston will probably make it.
Yeah.
Let me see who else is out there. Another good team.
You think Kentucky, Duke, either of them?
Nah,
Kansas? They're kind of Kansas a little falling off a little bit.
I don't think none of them. I don't think Kentucky is good enough. I don't think Duke is good enough. I think UNC may make another run for it. And
I
then
like the Creighton pick you said. They're sneaky. They dogged UConn the other night.
they did, yeah. And then low key Marquette's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that the Big East is strong. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
The Big East is strong this year. All right. Well, I was just curious because, like, obviously I got my thoughts, but like I want to hear from a guy that's actually played against some of these teams. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Now we'll jump in to the OKnowsSports 122nd rapid recap. So this is the one where whatever I say, whether it's favorite color and you say red or blue, you just say whatever coming to your mind. It'll just be like rapid questions. All right.
Okay.
If you don't know it, you can say skip or you can say like pass, whatever. All right.
All
right. Here we go. What's your favorite food?
Shrimp.
Okay. Cool Ranch or nacho cheese Doritos?
Neither.
Okay. Nike or Adidas basketball shoes?
Nike.
Vertical jump?
My highest was 44.5 my freshman year.
Jeez. Okay. Favorite teammate you've ever played with?
Favorite teammate? Emmanuel Zunabor.
Okay. NBA player comp. Who do you think you play like?
Fred VanVleet.
I like that. First time you dunked?
My 9th grade year in the summer.
Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Skip.
Best basketball movie of all time?
Glory Road.
I got that one written down for myself. Attaboy, that's awesome. Favorite rapper?
Favorite rapper? Future.
Okay, pregame meal?
Steak, potatoes, and greens.
Okay, you got a pregame ritual?
Nah, just listen to music, man. Clear my mind.
Okay, how do you like your eggs cooked?
Scrambled.
What's your go-to music genre?
R&B.
Okay, what's best team in the NBA right now?
LeBron.
No, best team.
Yeah, I know. LeBron. Yeah.
Okay. Best player in the NBA? Same answer?
Same answer, yeah.
Okay. If you could play any sport professionally besides basketball, what would it be?
Football or baseball?
Okay. All right. That's all I got for the rapid recap. So that goes straight into my next question. Did you play any other sports when you were younger? Now we'll talk a little bit about your early life growing up in Fayetteville. Did you play any other sports besides basketball?
Yeah, I ran track and I played baseball.
Okay. You never played football?
Nah, my mom wouldn't let me. She just let my brother play.
Okay. Did you watch any of his games though?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I love football.
Did you wish you were out there? I could see you being like a wide receiver in the slot, maybe.
Yeah, I was good. Like whenever I played like playground with the guys, like I was good. My hands.
Yeah. Well, and with a 45-inch vertical, I'm sure you could catch a jump ball or two too. What was it like growing up in Fayetteville? And like kind of like your childhood, like what did that look like for you?
It was cool, man. I mean, Fayetteville is a rough spot, but you know, it's a lot of good people. I grew up in the church, so I was around a lot of good community folk. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it wasn't like smooth sailing. You know, I had my rocky moments too, but I grew up in a 2-parent home. You know, it was just me until my little sister came along. She's 9 now. So my 14. But my older brother and my sister stayed with my biological father, so we were separated. But you know, I saw that from time to time. But life in Fayetteville was good, man. I love Fayetteville. You know, I'm glad I was born there. You know, this where my soul is rooted at. Yeah.
For sure. And talking a little bit about your faith, I'm also a faith guy myself. Has that been a big part of your journey? Like when you said like you felt like Oklahoma State was the fit for you, did you walk in there and you were like, after praying about it a lot in the transfer portal, you were like, all right, like God's got me. This is a spot for me.
Yeah. I try and put God in everything I do. You know, everything. I believe that every opportunity I've had has been God sent. Yeah, I prayed on it even before I left High Point, even before I got in the portal. You know, I was praying on it, And since I've been here, I've still like, kept the faith and trusted God in every move I've made. And, he hasn't let me down yet. And, that's why I have, the utmost confidence in whatever I want to do in life, I'll be able to obtain because God has given me everything I've asked for. So, it's just, I'm thankful. I try to do my best. I ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? Just God has been good to me.
For sure. Amen. I appreciate that. All right. So when did you think, like growing up in Fayetteville, obviously North Carolina is like one of the all-time basketball states, if not the best. When did you think you were like, all right, like I think I'm ready to start pursuing college basketball? Because I'm sure, I mean, like you said, you play with Sharif Cooper. So you're playing with guys that are like legit. Like it's not like you're like, I'm from Chicago, also a great basketball state, but like it's not like you're growing up in like, trying to think, like Iowa, where like you like, yeah, obviously you're good, but like growing up in North Carolina, when did that kind of realization come?
I would say my sophomore summer when I
Okay.
actually got good at basketball and I started like getting letters from schools. Then I was like, okay, yeah, like this is gonna be something that I want to do. I want to go to college. I want to go to a high major school, and I just kept on playing, man, throughout my sophomore, junior, senior year. I just stuck with the mindset that I was gonna go D1. That was one of the dreams of mine. But like I said, towards my senior year, it kind of started looking shaky. I had thought about going prep because I didn't really have any opportunities like I wanted.
Yeah.
But D1 school started coming, and I was able to get my opportunity.
Okay, that's awesome. Now we're gonna talk a little NBA. I think I know your answer to this already because of how you answered in the rapid recap. But Jordan or LeBron all-time GOAT, and why?
I say LeBron because one, like he been doing it since he's 18 and he damn near 40.
Yeah.
And he's still the best in the league. Like that's 20, 21 years of just being great. Two, like he ain't never been in no scandals, no trouble, no nothing. Like you ain't never heard nothing bad about LeBron for real.
Mm-hmm.
Cry baby. You know. And then like he like a 6'8" point, bro. Like LeBron can do anything. Like I don't think it's anything Michael Jordan can do better than LeBron besides maybe play defense. You know what I'm saying? But like passing, shooting, scoring, like LeBron is all-time scorer leader in the NBA. And you know what I'm saying? Like come on, all-time scoring leader, whole league that
And
everybody
he's not even a score first player, which is the crazy thing.
exactly. Everybody say he don't got a dog in him, like he's not aggressive. So just imagine if he was aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think I'd honestly like the longevity thing is such a good point because like yes, the biggest argument for Jordan is 6 for 6. So how do you combat like how would you combat like if one of the guys is like, well, he's 6 for 6, LeBron's not.
So I give kudos to them for that. But then I go to the teams that they was playing against. Like
Yep.
I had to play against Steph, Katie, and Clay. You know what I'm saying? And he still almost pulled it off. And he been there 10 times.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you did go 6-0 for sure. But Brian done seen the finals 10 times, 11 times. So like most people ain't even been to the playoffs that many times. You know?
And the craziest thing about LeBron, I think I'm also on the LeBron train. I want you to know, but one of the craziest stats is he went 9 straight years in the East. Like, bro, like what, like
Exactly.
what more can you say? Like he's the best player and the best team in the East. Like, and it's not even remotely close.
And Jordan used to struggle in the East. Like he used to lose in the Eastern Conference all the time. You know what I'm saying? They be getting the 9 years before he went 6-0. Like LeBron been doing this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just a GOAT, bro.
I agree. And hey, I'll leave you with one thing that my brother always says is like, you can say 6-0, but what about the other years Jordan played? Because he didn't win those years. Like sometimes he didn't even make the playoffs. Sometimes he got bounced first round. And my brother always like, he's a LeBron guy too. And he's always like, well, you say 6-0, how about the other 7 years he made the playoffs?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can use that if you're ever arguing with your teammates about it. I'm sure some of them think Jordan's better. All right, now I want to ask you a question. This may tie into the faith thing as well, but obviously you're graduating this year. What does it look like? Like a prolific scorer like you that's had a heck of a college career, to say the very least. Are you trying to play college hoops, or what does that? I mean, pro hoops, or what does that look like I'm curious from myself asking you, and also like I'm curious what you're thinking, what your goals are.
Yeah, I want to play professional, but I just don't know exactly like where that'll be or who it'll be with.
Yeah,
I think about it. I try and just stay in the moment I'm in right now because
definitely.
this is my last time ever being in college, so I'm just enjoying every bit of it. And I know like if you win out, you finish the season well, then better opportunities to come by. So I know I have a good enough resume to play professional. I don't have an agent or anything yet, so I'm gonna just keep putting the plow to the metal and keep trusting God that the right opportunity is gonna show itself. And after the season, I'll start working out. And the pro things will start lining out for me. But as of right now, I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to like press you about it. I was honestly just curious because like I know I'm a big guy who lives in the moment as well. Like obviously I'm graduating as well, and I like the question's always like, "Oh, what are you doing after college?" And I'm like, "Listen, I'm trying to enjoy myself right now." So I feel that, and I wasn't trying to press you about it. I was just curious because I know it's a kind of a crazy like slate. Like when you graduate, a lot of like I mean, there's pro in Europe, there's G League, there's NBA, obviously, and it's kind of a crazy thing. So I was just curious about it. And then I'll finish up with one last question. Going back to talking about the NBA, who's your all-time NBA starting five?
So my point is gonna be Steph. My two
Okay.
is Kobe. My three is gonna be Bron. My four is gonna be Joel Embiid, and then my fifth is gonna be Jokic, bro.
No Jordan?
No,
Okay.
no,
So you think Joel Embiid has earned all-time great status?
bro. He tough, bro. Like Joel is like that.
Yeah.
Like I think so.
He is like I can't believe. So I made an episode on my channel probably like 5 weeks ago because I kind of talk about everything in the sports world. And I was saying the craziest thing about Embiid is so everyone, because when you're a superstar, everyone just finds some ways to knock you down. They're like, oh, all he does, he's a foul merchant. How about being 7 foot, 260 and shooting 90% from the line? Like who he shoots 90%. Like who in the hell has ever shot 90% as a 7-footer? Like it's like known, like when Shaq used to play, it's known 7-footer shoot like 50, 60%. He literally is like top 25 in the league.
No, that is crazy. That's
Like
wild.
I don't know if he'd be on my GOAT top 5, but at the same time, like you got to think about it. Like, is there anyone better, more dominant than him right now? Probably
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yeah. Nah, facts.
That 70-point game was crazy too.
Nah, that was crazy.
Like I can't believe the way he's like so like smooth with it too. Like he's so big, but he's smooth too.
Exactly, bro. Like, and can't nobody from 1985 stop him, bro.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. Well, is there anything else that I haven't covered today on Oh No Sports on this episode that you want my fans to know and your fans to know about you?
Nah, I mean, you pretty much covered everything else. Just if somebody, want to lead with something, just know that I'm a loving guy who appreciates the fans of the sport and whoever supports me. I'm thankful for everything that they bring my way. And I'm also a great chef. You know what I'm saying? I may start my
Okay.
page. You know what I mean? I'm good in the kitchen, man.
What's your best dish?
I say like I'm a big seafood guy. I can cook good seafood. Yeah. Mm.
Damn. Okay. That's not something I would have guessed. Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you said shrimp's your favorite food. So I'm guessing something with shrimp in it's your best dish.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, well, best of luck against OU this weekend. I'll be rooting for you, and I know everyone at Oh No Sports will be too. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thanks for having me, bro. Have a good one.
All right. Peace out, man. Thank you.